Welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena, and today you join us for NACE Overwatch matches. We're going to be starting out with Boise State's match against Independence Community College out of Independence, Kansas. I'm host Jacob Palmer, joined by Colin Junkin, calling all of the action for you here tonight. And Colin, today's a very big day in Overwatch history. A new season has dropped and so many changes. We were looking over them before the fight today, and what is standing out most to you before objective? It's all brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. And this is the first match of the night for Overwatch, and we will be moving on to another big Division I schools. We're going to be starting out, though, on a very familiar site. We are going to be starting out on Legion Tower.
Still one of my all-time favorites. I mean, I know there's not a whole lot to choose from, but I feel like you can't really go wrong with Legion Tower.
And let's take a look at the lineups that we have. We've got Kel, Daydream,
Kiersur, the history of the United States, but who am I?
Independence, Kansas, very important city as it's one of the main start points for the Oregon Trail. Any of you, excuse me, not Independence, Kansas. See, now I'm just showing up. That was Independence, Missouri. Okay.
Now
Never mind.
Too many independents.
I was trying to make early. There will be some mainstays I think we'll still see. I mean, Lucio, if anything, got a boost, and he was already, as nerdy a Lucio main likes to point out, oh no, they're attempting fade right into the green. You never want to take that route. Oh my goodness, I was just saying, as nerdy always says, well, no, they're attempting fade right into the green. You never want to take that route. Oh my goodness, I was just saying, as nerdy always says, well, something nerdy says again and again, don't take that teleport route. Do not tempt fate, or else you will end up in the gutter, in the drink, with the fishes. Goes and moves off to the side. He's booped off by Rindy. Well, now we're going to see the environmentals really come in clutch. Look at that charge from the Ryan, trying to take out Cleary solo on health, and he'll be eliminated. Independence Community College just roaring to life against the Broncos.
That Ryan charge also got a buff. Trying to dive to the back line. Both beats gets answered back, but not before Independence's bat goes down.
Oh, nice. That's a great rampage hit. 2 of Independence and Boise State clears out the point completely. There's just the Lucio left. He's gone, and the Broncos back in control, but they had to spend artillery barrage incoming, but so it's another type of barrage. It's Moose with a double, keeping Boise in it, and another rampage is going to go right on to Gordo, taking out the tank for Independence Community College's ultimates being spent as soon as they come online, but Boise State holding control at this point.
Managed to tie it up for just half a second here. Chosen does have Blade. You need to make sure nobody really goes down. And that's a great environmental right there. That's a massive piece of the damage where Independence goes down. A great pin, but Beat came out just in time. Here comes out the Blade. Wingo on the side of Independence as well, but not a whole lot being answered back.
That works out for them. Chosen working on a flank to get into the backline. They've spent the Immortality Field. It's taken out, and that Baptiste is taking a bit of damage. Rindy, the knife lands right into him, and Boise State now looking good with one support down. What a barrage in close quarters. The Broncos keep control of this fight.
There's so much more movement when it comes
to the backline. He's going to force out the Immortality Field, and already Moose takes out one from the Pirates. And now this Tracer trying to find some sort of squishy target. Going to be able to take out the Rhine, but the Symmetra is doing work on her own. That with a charge forward and a double. Lyric is trying to make the best of a bad situation. He's just going to be able to boop the Reinhardt off. He's going to soar. Oh, look at this barrage. Oh, yes, they're able to read the Farah. Moose is going to have his barrage streak end.
With the change of tank pace here. Here comes out Beat as well. He's going to push past this window, get shattered. Plus wall out there, but Lyric getting a double environmental.
Are you kidding? Oh no, but live by the sword, not die by the sword. He manages a way to get back up there. Chosen with a nice sticky bomb, putting Boise State into a one-person advantage. Right now, Boise State is going to have to deal with that artillery coming out. Not really, they just kind of move out of the target area. Moose takes out the Immortality Field. Kitsune rush gives Boise State the go-ahead to go forward, and Clear is able to pick out Kaiser. It's now even at 4 apiece. Whole lot of damage for the Pirates. Chosen was also really good on this Tracer here, especially in the first fight. Was able to take out a lot of people. We're done with the timeout. Boise State still with a hefty lead. Gets a demo on to the Bastion. Boise State can't they just order again too, because there is another talking point I wanted to get to with all the new stuff this season and what the map lineup is. There is one change, and of course, we get the obvious out of the way. It's going to be Kings Row, of course. Yep. That hasn't changed. But what has changed is one of the escort stages, Junkertown, has been significantly changed. Independence, the Pirates, to a complete sweep. Right now, the Pirates are caught up in the theater. They're going to try to make their way past the checkpoint. Lyric holding the point down is going to put on some healing and move around the corner as Clear takes out 2, picks up the double, and is still very high on health. In fact, Independence has completely retreated.
Shot. I mean, when you're just that good, you can honestly make the projectile the size of a penny and probably still had Clear player.
Oh, look at the health just melt away right now from that Kiriko. Gordo also eliminated by Kel. It is a complete roadblock here at the spawn point for Independence team, but with Moose just having free reign to take pot shots right at the opposing team's spawn, a Reaper isn't going to be able to counter that.
No, and
all he can do is just look up at the sky and shake his fist.
I think that's what that Mage's trying to do, is perhaps slow them down. Oh, hold it just a bit too early. Even though that self-damage is there. Run away just quite yet. It's going to actually use the ult here.
Solo captive son.
Wow. This Mace should be able to survive a little longer.
Tank, though. He's diverting a lot of the attention. Nice slam down. He's going to be bailed out in terms of his health abilities. And he get another nice pick here. He's going to go right up against Gordo. The Immortality Field is spent. Boise State still keeping Independence contested. Point is going to be given up.
Yeah, try and get that ultim too. But honestly, I've seen it quite a lot, especially in NACE, where a team really gets hold at first point, that checkpoint, but once they get the payload, they kind of open up the free range to do a little bit better here. But Moose is on the flank route. Oh, and an unsuspecting Sojourn's going to be absolutely doused with rockets. Go down. There's the purple. No more healing for you. The cleanup on everybody else. And that's Broncos taking right back control from Lucio's boop now as well, because I think Lucio's boop went up to 35. There's a really well coordinated.
Eliminated with the Maga, but Moose and Clear are just doing a good enough job on the payload, getting the pick onto Gordo as well. In fact, both Magas have come out and just bitten the dust instantly.
Yeah, even though you have that increased health pool, everybody else has an increased amount of damage. It might be tough to sustain a Manga and a team that's going to effectively hit their shots there. There's the last of it, OT, one last second. There's the last of it, OT, one last second touch. Your support's being chased down. Oh, was going to get Clear instead.
Oh, look at that Maga. The ante placed right onto him. He's still trying to keep this going by being on the payload. Meanwhile, they divide and conquer, taking out the Maga and the Kiriko at the same time.
That range that Pharah has to just take full advantage of every opportunity they can. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be insane.
This ends now.
So a lot of healing. There's Railgun used on the opposing team. There is more barrages coming out. Gordo's going to get the dive onto Daydream. How ignores armor, but also Tesla Cannon, Primary Fire got a damage increase, as well as Primal Rage got a damage increase as well. So we should.
The Keister. Wow. Taking a whole bunch of damage as Kel moving on in, dealing damage with that Tesla Cannon. Moves on up to help back up Boise State's Pharah into the back line, and the Squishies try to get away, but it is just no use. It is just a hot
effectively on the tanks. There goes out Rush as well, but immediately goes down. Keister getting 3 so far here in this fight.
I don't know how Keister is pulling this off. There's another pick by the Junkrat, a focus and solo onto Keister, but both DPSs are now gone for the Pirates. Boise State trying to round the corner. Got their tank in the Junkrat, a focus and solo onto Keister, but both DPSs are now gone for the Pirates. Boise State trying to round the corner. Got their tank in the depths of DPSs, but Independence has a Kitsune Road. What a shot landed by Clear right in the air, and is now trying to take out the Kriko and the Rhine, but yes.
Going on right now. Gau's going to come in and help out just a little bit. Shatter available as well, but nothing else for Boise State.
Oh my goodness, Cal, you madman! He's going right into their faces, probably just going to try to keep them away and at bay. And the Shatter just on top of that for more CC. Boise State winning.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see a lot more Flyers this season.
All right, the players are ready to load back in. We'll see if they pick up the full 3-0 sweep, and this night particularly early, and move on into Wednesday, ready to brag, ready to say that their standings have improved. Because
as they are going to take this first point here, and Boise State will begin. Actually, they probably will go for a little bit of poke here into this fight, as they're not even on the second point. There goes Outplayed as well. Death Blossom, as well as Whole Hog, and the denial of
Heat as all of them
mid-air. Goes out Rush as well. Bullstorm sitting in wait to doom, but a lot of damage as well as well plays purple here, but there's going to be a trade. Who's your tank for support? Yet to see if that has lasting effects. It seems to not.
Oh man, Clear picks up another triple. And he has class this time. They're far away from anything else. Chosen coming up with the Death Blossom, possibly again. Kitsune is going to be spent for the engage by Independence, but already Clear has taken out their Lucio. They move on toward the point. Junker Green trying to jump around, but it isn't doing any good. He's taken out. Lyric is the first one taken out for the... I feel like whatever credit he got with that team wipe, he just lost this one.
What in the world did that sleep night? That is absolutely crazy. But that blade does come out, gets a couple. Clear's going to come back with one, but it's just not going to be enough. But it's not without enough.
This is enough to divert Independence's attention, allow Boise State to move back, push as a full team, but that knife is stuck right into Chosen's back. Takes him out. The Rampage coming out by Kel, but another...
That could be an advantageous position for the Broncos to take advantage. Clear's going to get one, Kel to get one as well. A couple seeds going out is going to land on a Bronco, but it really won't matter because that's a team wipe. BSG takes the point.
So much healing and sustain between these two that they're just fighting with pool noodles.
This could be big.
Point. Oh, here it is. What a rampage! It heads on to a bunch of Independents, and Boise State has the entire buffet lined up before them. They pick off 3, are now going out against the other 2. Can they pick them up? They're going to try to get this Genji, stagger him out for good measure, and that is everyone for the Broncos. Trying to kind of pick a fight with one of the squishies in the back. He moves on to the point, trying to take out this Ana, who's just right there, takes out the support, and the Genji comes in for backup. It's who he was facing off against earlier. Meanwhile, the tank drops for Independence. Boise State maintaining control of the point, and now has this Kariko to get a nice stagger.
Game number 3 of their season. I was going to take a bit of the high ground here. Looking for targets. Not going to find much, though. Enemy tank is going to charge in. Use the shout first. There's EMP as well. Rampage is going to find one as well. Death Blossom.
What a play. They all get eliminated in one foul swoop, and that is it. Done and dusted. Game, set, and match. And one celebratory emote as well. And I think I know who's probably chosen. It was actually before Clear. I think Clear switched onto the Reaper later.
Yeah, as well as the combination of Hog pushing everybody into it. Then the shutdown right there. That's all you need.
We'll get to our main broadcast in just a moment, but first, here are some recent news headlines surrounding Boise State esports. Boise State University's esports team, the Broncos, emerged triumphant in the Rally Cry Rocket League Collegiate Series qualifier presented by Army National Guard. They scored victories over Cal Berkeley, Universidad Carolina, as well as a convincing win against UT Dallas. As part of the larger series, the team's success positions them as contenders for the championship's $6,000 prize pool. Their journey will lead them from the individual closed qualifiers, which take place until March 3rd, off to the playoffs, which will be from March 9th to 10th. And then the grand finals will be March 16th. So fans and supporters of the Broncos will definitely want to check in throughout the season. Boise State University's Valorant squad is set up to kick off their Mountain West Conference campaign with a series of high-stakes matchup, all open to the public and streamed on Twitch TV/Boise State. February 21st to April 13th will mark the season. The team will face off in their first match against longtime rival UNLV. They'll also have tough matches against Air Force and Utah State, and those matches will take place every Wednesday night from 8 to 9:30 p.m. With their strategic prowess and competitive spirit, the Broncos are looking to make their mark in a conference where they have taken home several championship titles before. Fans and supporters will not want to miss it. And the NACE Division I Conference experiences a seismic shift as no team remains unbeaten. Boise State's surprising loss to previously winless South Florida adds to the drama. With only 4 weeks remaining in the season, the competition intensifies and the outcome is quite unpredictable. Oakland leads with a 3-1 record, closely followed by Michigan State and Kansas at 2-1. Boise State's setback drops them to 2-2 alongside Southern Miss and Mizzou. The Old Dominion Monarchs in South Florida stand at 1-2 and 1-3 respectively. As the race for the championship heats up, every match becomes crucial in this dynamic and fiercely contested conference. That'll do it for the headlines today. We'll get to the match, the Overwatch match we have for you later tonight in a few moments, so please stay tuned to Boise State Esports.
would you be doubting? So don't doubt in my head. Just say what should be said. We can sit and talk about something happening now, not just hollow vowels. But I just worry about it, about giving up. How can I go without it? The doubt will push you through. Get caught up to attention, all the frustration I have inside my head. Tell me to go away again. I guess we can all be warriors, assassinate the foe inside your mind. And over time, raise your voice, watch it cut through the end. So don't doubt in my head. Just say what should be said. How can I go without it?
Welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. You're joining us here tonight for some NACE Overwatch action. Boise State is all set up to go against a gauntlet of tough teams to improve their standing in the Division 1 conference. And if you watched the news broadcast just a few minutes before this live stream started, then you know that the Division 1 conference, at least in terms of Rocket League, which we saw yesterday, is proving to be a very tough and very competitive conference for everyone who is involved. Now, my name's Jacob Palmer. I'll be your host throughout tonight and be calling all of the action for you as Boise State is ready to go up against Bellevue in the first Overwatch match of the night. They will be starting out in this best of 5 on Legion Tower in the standard mode order that we have all gotten used to. We're going to be starting out on Control first. And before the Broncos get to the first stage, we want to bring them up to date on all the keys that they will want to be putting in place. That is Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch 2, and that's to take fights in unexpected places. Don't make positioning mistakes. Win 1v1s and win your fights before taking objectives. It's all brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. Boise State's Overwatch team, definitely one that has had trials and tribulations with NACE in the past. They're looking to improve their standings after having a real rough go at it in last season's NACE tournament. They weren't able to make it to the grand finals, a real pity because grand finals were hosted right here in the Boise State Esports Arena. So maybe hoping that they can be getting a little bit further on in the season. Also, major congrats to Full Sail University. NACE Star League just announced that will be where the spring 2024 grand finals are held. So the Broncos definitely hoping that they can take a nice long trip over there and compete live in the LAN environment. Of course, an environment that they are not unfamiliar with, seeing as how they compete here in this arena every single match. And we can see the full range of players up on stage, Chosen sitting at the very end, and Control, which is Lijiang Tower, as I said. So 3 options that we could start out off. Control Center, we could start out on Gardens, we could also start out on a Night Market. And there's just one more look at Chosen up there, and I'm just right here. We're all ready and locked and loaded, ready to go up against Bellevue, which should be a very tough team. As you know, if you're in the West Coast, you're thinking Bellevue. Does that mean Washington? No, this is Bellevue, Kansas. There are actually 2 universities named Bellevue, spelled the exact same, by the way, so that doesn't make it any easier to determine which one is different. But the way to remember it is the one in Kansas is the one that has the purple bear as their mascot, and that's who we're facing. And they've made quite a name for themselves in the collegiate esports scene. Doc was saying they're a really decent team to go up against, so this isn't guaranteed to be any sort of a sweep whatsoever. The Broncos still have their work cut out for them. And looking up on stage, I can see the full range of players. I can see Goblin up there, Kel, we got Chosen as well. So no real major if I'm trying to think of it, no real major... Sometimes the word just escapes you. No major speculation, that's it. No major speculation on who's going to go where, because Chosen is great job in the support position, but we also got Kel, who does intense work as the main tank. Also have had Matt Merck, who is traditionally a tank main in Boise State's Overwatch team, but has also been flexing a little bit, at least in the last match. Went on to the Tracer to great effect, actually. We've just had some great highlights from the past match to kind of show you how well Boise State's been doing in the past matches. So let's take a look at how Boise State has gotten here, fighting in the NACE Star League. And it's their fight against Independence Community College. You can see one player that really came alive for Boise State, and this was the first match after the much discussed, and we'll put it there lightly, the much discussed new season update. But Moose just came in on that far, all those new movement abilities, and just completely trounced the Pirates here. You can see this. Oh, I recognize this play. This is a really good flank here by the Farah. Just decides to get up close and personal right into their faces. And that was one of our most popular clips, actually, Boise State. Got quite a bit of traction on our YouTube channel. A lot of great comments. I remember one said, seeing this reminds me of why I loved playing competitive Overwatch. And so it's always great when you get just a play like that, like Moose had back there, that really just kind of brings a little bit of nostalgia to everybody. And boy, when we're talking about a game like Overwatch and we start using terms like nostalgia, you know you are getting old because, man, these games... It seems like yesterday they were first released, and then all of a sudden it's years and years and years later. We're talking just about general Blizzard titles. Hearthstone is celebrating its 10-year anniversary. It just seems insane that we're starting to get into terms of decades with these years. Meanwhile, though, this match a little bit more recent. You can also see at the very end there's Daydream. Did a great job on the Kiriko. Landed some good shots with the knife. Very solid support for Boise State. And everything all coalesced together for Boise State to get a pretty clean victory against Independence. Not necessarily really dropping any major game. The biggest surprise for this last match, if you can believe it or not, was actually heading over to New Junk City, if you can believe it, because most everyone chooses Servasta for their Flashpoint selection. But Independence decided to try to bring out a little bit of a cheeky play, maybe try to catch the Broncos off guard. We might see a few plays later on from there. I know we got one great team wipe from Chosen as far as that goes. And then this was Kings Row. Boise State started off on defense. Independence Community College actually kind of toward the very end. We were kind of expecting Boise State to just take this round entirely by just doing a complete hold on the first point, but Independence managed to break through their defenses, but Boise State stopped them in streets, and then from there on it was just really a hop, skip, and a jump over toward that parking spot, and they secured their victory in round 2. Gale decided to go on the Winston for this particular match. Boise State, as you can see, wasting really no time. In 30 seconds, they already got a great position on the first point, pushing Independence all the way back into the bookstore, back onto streets. I mean, just the space that Kel is taking alone on that Winston. And then this was one of the final pushes for Boise State, actually made it toward that final parking spot. He used Kitsune Rush and Moose. Yes, yet again, I just cannot tell you how much Moose was a threat on that Farah. Really just kind of turned the Farah into a flanking hero, if you can believe it or not. Not so much the old days of just the Farah staying in the air and landing shots with the help of Mercy. No, didn't need Mercy at all the last time they fight. It was just getting into the enemy backlines, picking up eliminations here and there. It was quite something to see. And then we finally head on into the third and final stage that Boise State competed in. This was a Junkertown in which Chosen had a great moment. You can't see it right there, but he used the Reaper Shrug animation, as he got that team wipe. Just a little bit of a cheeky rubbing it in at the very end. And this was the final round before Boise State picked up the win against Independence, a community college. Well, joining me on desk right now, I've got Kellen McGurkin, one of the main tanks for Boise State's Overwatch team. We just saw some great plays by him in that last watch against Independence Community College. So, Kel, take us through a general snapshot of how the team is feeling for this first match. How are they doing so far in the season, and what are their feelings toward this particular matchup?
So the practices have been going great lately, but as we all know, the big new Overwatch patch just dropped, so this is our first match on the new patch. So it'll be interesting to see how, the things we've been doing in practice kind of translate here versus a good team.
As I said a little bit earlier, the patch which everyone, and we'll put it gracefully, has strong opinions of. You can definitely get some people with strong opinions, but the only thing that really matters here is no matter what patch you're playing on, Broncos want another W in their column, and I have been bamboozled. We are not going to Lijiang. Instead, we are going over to Busan, which is, we don't tend to see it quite as often as Lijiang. Lijiang has kind of cemented itself as kind of a default starting stage, but I always like heading over to Busan, especially just of how mech base entirely, with the narrow hallways and movable walls, just kind of changes up the dynamics of the gameplay.
Yeah, and really depending on the sub point you get here, it can change what comp you want to play. You have those maps where, you have the center pillar and the point down in the middle, and that kind of opens up the map for you to play those longer range spam comps. And then you also have Mecha Base where it's inside and you want to lean towards a more brawl, heavy-centric kind of play. So I'm excited to see what we roll out on here.
Though in typical winter fashion, it looks to be a cold, wet, and overall miserable day, but at least we're in mech base, so we have some shelter from the virtual rain as we start this fight. Right now, both teams in the first fight. Look and see who can get the first pick, pushing a lot of damage on the JQ back on over to the Wrecking Ball, which Bellevue has brought out. It's going to bring out a hot pursuit from Clear, manages to get the pick with help from Matford. Kavora gets a pick onto one of Boise State's DPSs, so now we are even keel, although losing the tank is arguably going to be a much greater loss for Bellevue. Nice knife to land in for Clear, and he's going after the remaining people on the playfield to just he able to cement the point in favor of Boise State in a team fight 1?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, losing the hamster that early on in the round, it's going to make it too hard to clean up on point, and we saw Clear take advantage of that and land the knife perfectly on that Tracer to wrap it up.
Now Boise State is going to make a little bit of space for themselves and look over one of the hallways which Bellevue has to push through. It looked like Mad Merc might have the right idea here. Bellevue, I did see the outline of their wrecking ball, but then they managed to sneak onto point, but a quick hack and then the bomb as well. It just puts so much damage. He is completely out from the rest of his team as well. So now this team fight for Bellevue, Boise State can just pick him off one at a time.
Yeah, it's a tough time to be a ball player, and you can see Moose, after that first death, immediately swapped to Sombra just to make his day even worse. So I'll be interested to see if Vita wants to swap off or if Bellevue's feeling that confident in the ball pick here on Mega Base.
Just a long way for that Lucio to be pushed up. Takes a little bit of damage, but manages to fight another day. Have an awkward split here between Bellevue, their tank, and the rest of their players. Trying to take Boise State on in 2 different avenues. The Broncos are holding them so far. I did see a Tracer, a Stone dash through, trying to get a touch onto the point. The knife is going to go out as well as the Rampage. The Tracer goes down, and now Boise State trying to clean up the remaining players. Kavura hanging on by a thread. Stone eliminated by a large Bago. Those Lucio boots strong as ever. Now they're just trying to chase on down, but did they bite off more than they could chew? They don't want to take too much damage. Chosen was Mad Merc was a little bit low on health, but a quick recall. Boise State is back and ready to reset this fight. Take another one. Sticky Bomb is heading on toward Moose. Slammed down by the Wrecking Ball for Bellevue. Beat is going to be forced out by Boise State as well as the Kitsune Rush to try to bring this fight back. They pick off 2 players, Hydra and Wicca. Kavura is next. Those ultimates helping Boise State bring back the fight, take the first match cleanly. It looks to be a 19-9, now 100-0.
Yeah, and great timing on that. You can see Moose goes down to the pole swarm, a great stick from Stone, but it's just not enough. Clear, Bagel, and Chosen able to really collapse on the back line of Bellevue there on the high ground and secure the round for Boise. A strong start. Good to see my teammates living up to the hype. Some replay of the Bagel here. I love to see it.
Can you imagine if they
Ooh,
caught
the
me
beat on
zipping?
top of the thing. I like it. I like it. A little risky if you fell down, but you know, no risk, no bagel, as they say.
Now we are moving on to what could be the final stage of For Busan. Get back on over to a much more wide open space. Plenty of room to move around. See if that Wrecking Ball maybe has a little bit of better time on here or if he swaps, but judging from the silhouettes, it is going to be, yeah, Vita still sticking on the Wrecking Ball. Boise State also sticking on mostly the same stuff. As you said, that Sombra there just makes that Wrecking Ball's life a little bit harder. Do see an Ashe also brought out on field. Plenty of vantage points, which can get some long-range shots with her. And already the rotation coming out from Clear, focusing down this Wrecking Ball. They're just picking him off as the first target. And they're usually picking him off in locations where the team can't fight with him. That's a huge play onto Stone. Vita drops. The tank gets down for Bellevue, and Boise State has free reign to take the point for themselves.
I know Clear's mom and is watching right now, and in case you didn't see that, Clear's mom, that was a great play from Clear. A perfect knife onto the Tracer, right in the chest, and he finishes her off, secures that fight win for Boise.
I would say, look, Mom, no hands, but judging as it's a knife and you have to toss it, a hand is actually pretty integral to the equation. Moving on to the next fight, Boise State already north of 20. They are also getting a pretty good charge. Mad Merc already more than halfway towards that Sticky Bomb. Mad Merc taking a bit of damage, though. Almost got the first pick off. Pick around the corner.
That'll be looking to match up with this Tracer and just kind of mark him out at the start of this fight and then match up with Clear while they actually push the back line at Bellevue. I mean, this is a map where, Bellevue on this ball and Ashe comp, they want the ball to disrupt the back line so the Ashe can take more space and get some pickoffs like Karava does get on Matt Merck there, but it's just not good enough for them right now.
It almost seems like more of an Overwatch 1 strat where you could have an off tank who was trying to pick up some squishies every now and then, rather than the main tank being kind of so integral to the team as a whole as of now.
Yeah, absolutely. But they'll get a pick on Chosen to start this. That's going to be huge for them to come back. Boise State might have to invest ults or more lives if they want to touch this point.
Already, Moose landed one onto Lucio, but taking a whole bunch of damage. Hydra cleans things up, putting Bellevue into an advantage play. They did manage to sneak away the point from Boise State, but the score is already so lopsided for the Broncos. That could just be one more team fight one, and they've got it. Wicca is eliminated. There's just one more support ready for Bellevue. They're holding back, not contesting the point, but they do not have time to wait any longer. The Wrecking Ball trying to go into Boise State's backline. Illegally, Matt Berg answers the call, throws out the sticky bomb. It doesn't land, but there's so much damage already. Thanks to Clear getting the final hit. The tank is down for Bellevue. Also, Bob is down as well, because any damage that he would have put out was quickly negated by that beat. Boise State looking like they're going to wrap up Busan with a clean 2-0.
EMP activated.
One last desperate touch from Stone there on the Tracer. Oh, the ball wants to get his dues as well. The Bagel will finish that off, and like you said, 99-0, 99-0.
And we'll see who the game gives the official tip of they had to in terms of recognizing a player of the game. I was going to see who gets on the scoreboard first, and of course it is Clear on that Junker Queen, and really it is kind of fitting because there was a very big tank difference, I would say, between these two teams.
Yeah, and I mean, to give some pressure off their ball player, I think there were some team issues in how they were trying to coordinate those attacks. It seemed like Bellevue was a little hesitant, maybe a little scared to really charge first on into head Boise State, which I think you need to do if you want to be playing that ball comp. You need to be playing aggressive, even when Clear's on the Queen and he's terrorizing your team, as we just saw.
Yeah, but oftentimes that ball would find themselves just completely alone as they go charging into the back line. So it made for a pretty easy target, and Boise State very quickly kind of made the pick over to that Sombra to just kind of negate that. And from then on, it was fairly smooth sailing. Now we move on to the next stage, which will be a hybrid map. Normally, if it's the other team's choice, it usually goes Kings Row. Last semester, we did see Eichenwald rise up as a very popular pick as well. But so far this semester, it has been back to the old favorite, old reliable. Everyone's, everyone they know it, and I don't know if they love it, but it's the one we know and know. It's Kings Row.
Hey, Kings Row's a player favorite. It's a team favorite. I'm a Kings Row propaganda advocate. I love Kings Row. But, you know, if you're Bellevue right now and it's your map pick, maybe you go Kings Row if you want to try out the brawl comps. You want to switch up what you were doing before. The ball comp didn't work. We saw that 200-0. So, honestly, Kings Row might be a good pick. But maybe you want to stick to your guns. You want to try the ball comp one more time. Maybe try something a little more spammy with the Sigma or something else against us on Boise State here. And I'll be interested to see what they pick.
The only thing is that Kings Row, you can't really bring out any unexpected strategies because everyone just kind of knows how Kings Row is supposed to work out, as they're still choosing between what stage they want to bring into the mix. And if you couldn't play on Kings Row, I know you are a self-admitted propagandist, but if that is a choice not available to you, what's your second runner-up choice?
Ooh, on hybrid, all the other hybrids are so tough. You know, Eichenwald first, I think, is great, but the second point is so hard to challenge with that enormous, giant high ground that sprawls the entire thing. I think the devs should take a look at that. But if I'm Bellevue, that's probably what I'm picking if I'm not going Kings Row, because that gives you the best chance to set up a strong defense and kind of get yourself back on the front foot, you know, having that map advantage, especially if you start out on defense, maybe get a mental shift going in your team so you feel like you can play more aggressive going into the rest of the series. But that being said, I hope they're not watching that and that they don't do that to my teammates. So I hope they pick Kings Row.
Well, it's most likely going to be that, all things considered, because we normally go through a ritual where we try to entertain every single thought of why it might not be Kings Row, and then it's just Kings Row at the very end. It's a song that's been played over and over and over again like a broken record, but we are used to it. We've just kind of, in terms of casters, have just accepted it, of just assuming, yep, see, this is why, you know?
It's like Schrodinger's cat, but the cat's always dead or something.
Reason the bus is number 629 is that's how many times I've seen Kings Row in every single broadcast I've done. It's just a running tally of how many times in a row this map has been picked.
It seems like a low estimate, but
yeah, to be honest, I don't know. Maybe they're dividing by 10 or saving the 0. I have no idea. But we will head on over to the one that everyone knows how to play. Boise State has had a lot of great plays on Kings Row. Last time they played in the previous fight against Independence Community College, and you were playing in that one, Kel. They managed to hold the team in streets, was as far as they allowed to get. The other team managed to get first point and get the payload moving, but they weren't able to get to this factory that we're seeing right here before us.
Yep, I'll blame myself for that first point loss. I'm sure the team here can keep it to a first point hold, especially if I won't say that me playing wrecking ball on first point Kings Row defense isn't the most competitive pick I could have in that situation, but it is really fun. I don't expect Clear or Matt to pick it though here. Honestly, the Queen was working really well, so I wouldn't mind to see that again. The team's also been messing around with the little Zarya from time to time in scrims and practice, so we could see that too. I'll be interested to see what Clear picks here while we get a beautiful view of Kings Row. Gorgeous map. The lighted city streets.
Now pretty firmly back to nighttime as well. We had that little bit as Overwatch 2 first released of seeing it in day, but it just didn't feel the same.
I think so too. I think the night's better. It's more cinematic.
We're seeing a Ramatra be brought out instead.
And a Reaper. Looks like Reaper, Sombra, Ramatra. I like this. I like this. It's a brawl-centric comp. Or I'm sorry, that's Moira over there, not Reaper. We have the Sojourn playing on the back high ground. Looking to get some slows with Clear slow on Ramatra as well this round. And just collapsed on Bellevue here, who will be playing the Orisa comp. Looking to kind of take the brunt of that damage with Orisa's gold and spin, and then counterattack. Of course, we'll be looking to play around that as well.
Already there's a bunch of poke damage from Boise State. Bagel has an angle as well onto Avery. Pushing back past the choke point. Now they move through as a team. Matt Merck picked off by Stone, and Boise State is back on the point. More damage gets placed onto them. Clear in a bit of a sticky situation. Tries to go back for the health pack and has to block all the damage. Just give up the point entirely. And that'll be 2 ticks for Bellevue. Boise State might try a recontest here, but the way they're holding back, I think Bellevue has this first payload.
Yeah, Matt Merck trolling a little bit on that first point, getting picked early. That'll just cement it. Good from the team not to rush in and, you know, lose a lost fight even harder and feed ult charge to Bellevue. This way you'll see they'll be able to set up close on this second point and get a good hold here, hopefully.
Swap by Matt Merck over to Cassidy. More poke damage coming out in the form of the damage orb. Move over to the side for just a little bit more healing. We actually have kind of an unexpected angle being taken onto Boise State's backline. Coalescence brought out in the choke. Moving forward, pushing Bellevue back into the hotel. They spend their Kitsune rush. The damage is too much. These punches go onto Avery, and that's going to be a pretty solid reset. Boise State manages to land onto Bellevue.
Yeah, I think you can see there Chosen gets his ultimate just a hair faster than Caravoa does on Bellevue there, so he's able to start that fight with the Coalescence, take the front foot, and unfortunately Bellevue commits that Kitsune rush for nothing and they lose the fight.
Well, as if we didn't like kind of the poke spammy damage enough, we decided to move on to Junkrat as Matt Merck swaps over again. They were being forced a little ways back. Moose has taken a good bit of damage. Hard to heal up a little, but need some main healing from the support. Annihilation being brought out. There it goes. How many people did he get it onto? So how long will it last? Only looks like 1 or 2, and it's no match for the overclock. It's those railguns just ring out across the streets, picking off 3 of Boise State's players instantly. The remaining ones straggle for cleanup for Bellevue. It looks like this is probably going to be one more team fight before the second checkpoint.
It'll be a close touch here for Boise State if they want to try and contest. Bellevue did invest, though, beat the Sojourn ult and Pulse Bomb, so if they can get that touch, maybe they can hold it, but they won't be able to. Great play from Bellevue again, sending their Avery on Orisa forward to block Boise State from touching the point with his ult.
And look at the Broncos just drop like flies. Bellevue making their way toward the final point. Chosen also gets put down on a stagger to boot. That's even more ground Bellevue will gain. Boise State has saved up a good amount of ults, but they'll have to use them to their fullest extent to be able to stop it.
Yep, and we'll see Matt Merckx kind of bring around the rosy appears here, land on May for the 3rd point, looking likely to cut off the support on that Orisa that she's been getting this match so far. Of course, Boise State with 4 ults going into this fight as well. The Chosen will get picked off early on the Moira. That'll mean Boise has to invest heavily here to win the fight. A great counter pick from Clear onto Wicca on the Lucio. And they'll charge forward with the Lamatra ult. Clear 1 HP though, he'll fall down.
That's just about everything since the coalescence that Boise State has brought out. They'll swap over to Hanzo from Moose. But after all these swaps at Boise State, they've just been kind of throwing things at the wall to see what sticks, and nothing really has. Especially, I don't know if this Hanzo's really going to win the long-range game with the way Hydra is just landing these railgun shots on the Sojourn. Also has the overclock available as an ult, and did so well on that last time with the help of Avery taking out Chosen. Now Boise State doesn't have their main healer, and the railgun shots once again wreak havoc on the Broncos. One final terror surge to clear out the point, and Bellevue takes the 3rd point with a very healthy 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the bank.
Yeah, that can't lie. That's a great time to have on Kings Row offense. Boise State looking absolutely lost there on the attack. The boys left to get it together back there and fight back a little bit. Also, just a shout out Avery on that last play, 3rd point Kings Row. He actually spears Chosen out of his ultimate. That could have been Boise's chance, you know, to get their foot back in the game and get some ults on the board, but it just didn't work out. Avery saw it coming. He hits a spear mid-air on Chosen and cements Bellevue's 3-minute and 40-second cap.
Talked about a little bit of trolling earlier on in the match, and it's all fun and games until you're looking at that much time that you've got to make back in your attack push. So hope that Boise State didn't bite off more they can chew and get a little too lackadaisical in their defense. They have a chance to make it up on offense, and I do see a Zarya outline, which you were talking about a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the guys pick here once the time locks in. There is no better motivator than losing a round, or at least half a round like that. You know, it makes you focus up, little slap to the face. So I'll be interested to see if we keep this Genji that I'm seeing in the attack spawn room, or if he swaps over to, say, the Reaper. The Genji isn't a bad pick, but I just don't want to call anything before the time hits 0.
4, 3,
Pretty fair. It's much more of a safe bet to say that this is the comp that Bellevue is going to bring out. Mostly the same as the last with the Orisa. Also the Sojourn as well. And Hydra, I mean, if we're shouting out Avery, Hydra also did an amazing job on attack as well. As Boise State used Lucio's speed boost. He's trying to flush out this Tracer from behind in the alleyway. Also a little bit of a split push. You also got some people poking out from Hotel. Look at the ball. I love the Zarya bubble being placed onto Madmer. Gets him out of a sticky situation, but also gets him in a good place to pick out some of the backline. But right now, there are no picks to speak of as Hydra and Avery picking up where they left off in attack and keeping Boise back to their spawn.
Yeah, Bellevue absorbing that pressure from Boise State well, not letting Clear get away with bubbling Madmer to build that charge early on easily. They're going to have to play it a little bit slower here and take the space a little bit smarter while getting Clear that charge if they want to compete. And Hydrangea 77% to that first ult. That's going to be tough to deal with here. But they will be sending in Matt in early again. The Moose gets caught on the rotate.
Avery down to about half health. They move in to try to finish off, and they have gotten 1 tick for themselves off of positioning. They'll turn that probably into 2, but trying to go in to take out this Sojourn, not going to be able to find it. Clear does manage to make it even keel, but then he gets taken out, and like trading a pawn for a rook, Boise State doesn't want to lose their tank in that situation. They aren't going to be able to contest the point, and will just have to go back with a 1 tick.
Yeah, Boise State gets a pick there late in the fight, but with Moose and Chosen going down late there, they won't be able to capitalize. Bellevue will be back first, and it'll be pretty even on ults here, all things considered. Bellevue will have those kind of 4 up a little bit first, but Boise State will just have to play slow. They have a lot of things here at 70-80% that they'll be looking to use. Might start off with the Kitsune Rush or a beat outside of the spawn room once they decide to push.
Bellevue has a whole bunch of ultimates that they can use. They're going to start with the first one onto the overclock and Kitsune Rush. Boise State brings out the beat in response to try to tank out through that armor. Now the beat wears off. Boise State only has their own Kitsune Rush to answer back, and Bellevue has their entire remainder of their team with ultimates they can use. So hard first with the Sticky Bomb as the Kitsune Rush is spent by Boise State. They're also bringing out their Overclock. Trade back and forth. Both tanks picking up one against the other team. Even keel at 4-4 as Bellevue uses their last ultimate, the beat, to try to go through. I said last ultimate, but there is still one more. The Terror Surge right now happening by Avery, taking so much damage, not going to be able to stop that pick. Now that Boise State has finally taken Bellevue's tank down, they will manage to get the first point. There is one straggler left from Bellevue. They might try to get a stagger on. It is going to be the Kitsune trying to pick her up. Looks like that will be able to get away. Grieco, excuse me. And then Boise State picks up the payload, but a much slower pace than Bellevue had.
Yeah, and when you're Bellevue and you know you just had a great first point defense and you know you have that huge time bank, now you can honestly just play to stall, play to get those little picks, and you don't have to do anything crazy here at all. Play safe, play time, try and draw out that clock as long as you can, because if it hits 0, then Boise State can't win the map. All they can do is draw.
Clear charging up by poking out into the archway with a few of those bubbles. But Bellevue has been a very good job of not feeding them too much throughout the fight. Madmark will also just try to bait them out with a reflect. Now moves in with the blade, and oh my goodness, what a shot down, clear out of the air. Just one railgun shot ends the hopes and dreams of that Genji. My goodness, that is just the firmest no I have ever seen to a Genji blade.
Clear will manage to get a pick back, which might let Boise State be able to push here soon, but Bellevue's going to want to fight it. Madmark didn't get the bubble in time there, and they'll commit the Kitsune to take out Clear. A great beat from the Nagel to keep him up, and they'll trade out tanks.
Boise State has also spent their beat, but it's an ultimate spent to a losing fight as they aren't able to get this payload past the choke. Bellevue doing a great job holding them. Chosen takes a bit of damage. He tries to, get a few damage up from that high vantage point, but doesn't find it. Another swap by Madmark. This time is going to be going over to the Torb.
Yeah, and we'll see the lucky thing about trading tanks here so close to Boise State's spawn is that they'll be able to get through that first choke point just due to Rissa's walk back time being so much longer than Clear's. And they'll have a chance here to use this Graviton Surge, hopefully.
Haven't spent any ultimates quite yet in the team fight, but now they're ready to move through, waiting for the right moment. Avery taking so much damage. The tank is down, and Boise State has a green light to move forward. Has to bubble up a teammate to prevent these picks from coming out, because Kabura already got one onto Moose. And Bellevue, just in the case here, Boise State is moving forward slower than ever, but Bellevue can use ultimates like that overclock that they just brought out to stall or keep Boise State from peeking around the corners. Boise State is slowly making their way toward the next checkpoint.
Yeah, and Clear at high charge, finally 100%, and he'll have a bubble to use early in the fight.